Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. This is Maro, and today I have a Republique replay, French tier 10 battleship, ship that I've been playing lately and have not been doing well in it at all, but somehow in this game it delivered my damage record. So I wanted to share the replay with you guys and just talk a little bit about Republique and how the game went. So Republique, I played 34 games so far in it. I only got it recently as part of the, I guess, the anniversary awards that are given to different ships, and I guess you get Super Container for Tier 10, and I was very close to it, so I got it, but I didn't really play her a lot. So recently I've been playing her a lot more, and I guess I had a chance to play 34 games in her, and my win record is pretty bad. It's 38%. My average damage 106,000. Ship sunk under 1. It's like 0.7. Survival 40%. Accuracy pretty good for me actually, 33%. And potential damage on average 1.7 mil. And I looked up at the server stats, and you know all the players in the third quarter basically on the North American server had 49% win. So I'm doing a lot worse. 90 average damage. So I'm doing better, but it probably is the wrong kind of damage that I've been getting, which is battleships, long range, HE. That also doesn't help with my kills because the average is 0.8 versus 0.7 for me. So I haven't been really effective in killing off ships. Survival on average is slightly lower, and I guess again that goes back to me playing the ship a little more conservative, staying in the back. As a result, I survive and get a lot of damage, but I don't have an impact on the game, as reflected in my win ratio. Now, you could argue 34 games not enough, but 30 games I would argue is enough games to give you a sense of where you're at. In terms of potential damage, average on the server is 1.5 million. Accuracy on average is 29, so I'm doing better on accuracy and on potential damage. But again, maybe kiting and staying in the game longer, but not being decisive. So in this game, on this map, I decided to go to the west. You know, um, Republique has speed. It's one of the fastest tier 10 battleships, so I decided to put that speed to good use. Um, Trying to use the side because the armor on the ship is not really something that is uh, very good or something to really brag about. She's covered in 32 millimeter armor, so that means that a lot of heavy cruisers basically can easily do damage to the ship in addition to starting fires. So that makes her like together with Americans, although the Americans will have typically maybe 38 millimeter middle part of the deck, one of the most exposed nation ships. Here I have AP and no time to really change, turn to HE, and I spot a destroyer, take him out. I see there is another destroyer, Benson there, and I'm with Prince Eugen here. I see the torps coming from the Z, but I think I just thought that they will run out, and I guess maybe that's one of those things when you see the torps for too long, you think, oh, they're just going to stop. I think now I'm realizing, no, those torps are not stopping. They're coming for me. I don't want to go ahead too far because Benson is just around the corner, and I'm afraid that he may try to torp me. So I'm going here behind. I eat the two torps, which is totally my fault, and I'm getting ready for this Benson. However, with the Prince Eugen here and I guess further ships in the back, they're able to really take her out, and the torps are too far to really be any threat to me. So now with the two destroyers clear on this cap, I feel a lot more sure to push because I know there is a Moskva there, I know there is a Neptune, and I think on the far end there is a Montana, but I think she's a little too far to really have a big impact on me. So my expectation was that me and the cruiser and maybe the destroyer will push. The destroyer somehow changed his mind and stayed in the back, which I kind of didn't really appreciate, given that you have the support, you have a battleship, you have a cruiser here. We could have used the destroyer to sweep in front of us. However, it is what it is. You do what you can. So now I'm just accelerating, putting that speed and the speed boost. So I think with the speed boost, you can reach 32 plus knots. Now this Moskva is just sitting here, and Moskva's broadsides are pretty soft. So I imagine he didn't think that I will take this route. I'm not sure really what happened, but there she was, and I just shot, and that didn't really take that long. And Moskva is, one of those ships that are very hard to kill front on, but if you catch her from the broadside, it was pretty easy, as you could have seen here. So I was surprised that Moskva was so unaware, and I just decided to keep pushing on this side because now we have this flank, and I see that on the A flank we're kind of falling back, and the red team has all three. And then there is Neptune just sitting there as well. Again, a big surprise for me. I thought that A would have tried to hide, and now I'm a little concerned about the torps. But I shoot, and it seems the angle that I really shot at her to finish her off was not there. So I'm like, okay, I'll get her now. I shoot again, and that's four shots that don't make it. So my secondaries finish her off. Must have gotten something probably on the side that's higher, and I wasn't able to overmatch. I'm just not sure what happened there. I was quite surprised. Anyhow, so now things are really looking good for us. Moskva's out, Neptune is out, two destroyers are out. We finally turn this cap, and I decide to just stay on this course and keep pushing on the outside while the team goes in. Sometimes staying too far on the outside, not the best idea, because you may not be able to help the team as much. But here with the speed that I have, and I guess where the Montana was, I thought it was just a good idea to keep pushing. And then there it is, Lexington. I'm like, wow, I guess caught unaware, perhaps. Didn't see me coming. So far in this game, I really have not been attacked by planes at all. And the higher tier battleships, you could argue they can withstand punishment. And French battleships tend to have pretty good AA. Um, Republique's rating in the game is 95. But what I found is when the CV focuses me, I'm not long for this world. Obviously, I think once it was a very good CV player, and it was in the middle game, so you could argue that maybe some of my AA defenses were stripped already. But basically, it was a flyover with torps, torpedo planes, maybe two runs, and then a follow up with dive bombers. And I maybe had half of my health, and I was pretty much done after that. For total shutdown number of planes, maybe during that, four or five. So the continuous damage of the ship is not that high. It's just ahead of, I think, Germans and British and Japanese, but it's behind the Russians and Americans. In terms of flag clouds, it gets 8 flag clouds, but the issue with that is, especially if you're a little isolated, is that a good CV player knows how to work around that, and they will make their way through, and your continuous AA is not enough to really do a lot of damage, and they're able to finish you off. So this has happened to me already 2 or 3 games, either where I was maybe a little exposed and got overly focused, or maybe where I was together with 1 or 2 ships, but the CV was pretty good and was able to dismantle me pretty quickly. So when it comes to airplanes, safety in numbers is always recommended, which then again obviously has that counter effect of making the game better and slower, but you know you have to adapt, I guess. So by this point, I'm doing pretty well. I'm chasing that Montana. I think we're still 200 points behind. I have almost 150,000 in damage. I've noticed that there was a destroyer somewhere nearby, and I thought I wasn't so signs of smoke earlier, or I see there was Yu Yang to the south of me. So I decided to stop just to throw off his aim in case he launched torps. Now, this may not be the best angle if the DD is south of me. And now I saw some shells and smoke. Okay, so there's where the destroyer is. So then I just decided to accelerate. I have HE because I'm using it on Montana to start fires. And I found, that Republique tends to be a good fire starter. It has a very good range. It has 2 turrets for 31mm guns. And the HE DPM is okayish, not the best, but in terms of starting fires, it's just behind the British battleships. Obviously, having HE here is if I see the destroyer pop up, I'll be able to take her out as well. So, minimap, I see the destroyer, I just fired. So I think I'm just trying to kind of change my course, make sure if there are torps, I don't run into them while I'm waiting for my reload. Now the reload on these guns is pretty fast. It's 21 seconds the way I build the ship with the reload mod. So while you only have 8 of them, I think the speed tends to make up for a lot of it, and I'm here and able to take the Yu Yang out. No, Changmu, sorry, not Yu Yang. I guess I was also in a way a little bit unlucky with this matchmaker. There was a mix of tier 10s, 9s and 8s, I believe. So that definitely worked to my advantage. Now the red team is pushing from the south, and I'm kind of in a good position because the ships south of me are broadside to me. I mean, it is at some distance. So I switched to AP. The AP on a Republique is pretty good. It has probably one of the highest pen values. I think at 15k you should be able to pen Yamato's 410mm sit at 45-degree angle. So it carries well. In terms of accuracy, it's somewhere in the middle, but Sigma is pretty high, but then the dispersion comes in. But nevertheless, and I guess given my accuracy ratio, it's a pretty good guns. So I wasn't able to take the FDG out, and I guess my opportunity for a Kraken slipped there. But nevertheless, I'm doing well enough. The damage is 190,000. It's pretty good. I'm still chasing this Montana. Maybe about to switch the ammo. I think in terms of points, we're finally catching up. We have 2 caps. And then obviously I'm a little far out really. But then I see that another cruiser, red cruiser, is on our B cap, and the team is asking for assistance. So this is Rune again. It's pretty far, 17k. So I'm like, okay, well, I missed my chance with FDG. Maybe now I'll get a little luckier. So I shoot, give it some lead. Looking those shells. I mean, they're kind of moving fine. They're not really going all over the place. And 2 overpens. So not exactly what I wanted. At the same time, I see the Bismarck is turning, and I guess Montana is also turning around. But right now I'm just focused on the Rune. So one ship at a time. I fire another salvo, and here I get lucky. Not only do I get lucky, I get a sit just about as the ship was almost dead. So now it's me versus 2 ships here. I got my Kraken, so I'm feeling good, but I'm still, I have to say, concerned about our ability to win. I mean, it's 5 versus 3, but you never know. So I'm kind of anxious to make sure that, we actually win this game. And I think at this point I'm about deciding, okay, I'm going to focus on Bismarck here. Initially I thought, well, maybe I'll just slow down and try to use my secondaries. Now my build is not a secondary build, but it does have just over 8k reach. So perhaps engage with Montana at 8k while I'm trying to batter down Bismarck. Now Bismarck is so far kind of, open enough for me to be able to land some shells. So he's kind of going broadside. And with my reload, my AP DPM is pretty high, and I guess there are also a whole set of torps that's coming from the other direction, so he eats some of them. Here, I think I got a little greedy in a way because I thought that Montana was like really open to me, and I thought maybe I could score, some decisive damage. But he was able to angle before I had a chance to really do anything. So now I'm just thinking, you know what? I'll just go for the ram on the Montana if I can, and I am going for Bismarck. I'm able to take Bismarck out and the DD, and I guess my team is able to take Montana. So now I'm almost dead. I'm down to what is that, 3 or 4 thousand life. Um, and my DPM is gonna take a while. I do have 2 heals, so I pop one, and now I'm just trying to offset that fire. And that's one of the issues with Republic. The hit point pool that you get is pretty decent at 92,400, and with Superintendent you get 5 heals. And you will need them because the armor, while it appears to be solid, while it has a French form of the turtleback armor, so you could use it to brawl, and the numbers are okay. I think the 32 millimeter plating everywhere hurts her because she suffers a lot of pen damage, and then obviously is also a favorite target when it comes to the HE fire starters. So life goes out quickly, and when I found out that sometimes when I'm engaged in a very intense battles, or if I'm not careful and start facing more than one ship, I cannot take too much damage for too long. So something to keep in mind. So now here we have the lead, we have the 2 caps. Holland is the only one that's left. It still has a lot of health, but it doesn't really have a lot of time now to do anything. It's just about 3 minutes left, and the 3DDs and I are all on one side pretty much. So slowly turning to the B cap. I'm looking at these numbers. It's 252,000 and 6 kills. So with a lot of rewards that for some reason, I mean, they don't really show up in replays. You will see them in the messages, but not here. Not sure what's going on, but it should be Confederate, it should be Kraken, it should be secondaries, it should be what else? I think there were like 1 or 2 other ones. So very good game. Right now, I mean it's 949 points, just waiting, and this came as a big surprise to me. As I said earlier, my record in this ship is not so good. I do struggle with also maneuvering in this ship. It's a big ship. It's hard to move. I think maybe it's the second least maneuverable ship after GK. The rudder shift also it's kind of on the high side. And I think also determining how best to employ the ship in a team is something that I have not figured out. I think I played it for a while as a conqueror in a way because it has a long range and it's a good fire starter even if the HEDPM is not so high. But I don't necessarily think that's the best way to go about it. In terms of speed, it seems that the flank and lack of armor would work the best. Secondaries, I've kept them to where they are and haven't really invested too much into it. But I do tend to think that perhaps my build as it is now, which is like a typical battleship build in terms of mods and captain skills, so priority target, adrenaline rush, expert marksman, superintendent, basics of survivability, concealment expert, and fire prevention, may not be the best one. I think there are some other skills that can be better invested in. Nevertheless, here are the results. So lots of awards: high caliber, dreadnought, kraken, confederate, secondary, devastating strike, 6 kills, 255,000 damage. When I saw that, I knew that this was it. So it was kind of funny enough for me that the ship that I'm not doing so well is delivering the record damage for me. In terms of damage, it's just over 2,300 points. Given the matchmaking and given that I was the highest tier in the matchmaking, not necessarily easy to deliver. And I think when I looked through this, I was able to really engage with 10 ships this game. And, damage very well spread around across battleships and cruisers. Damage received also, I was able to tank 129. In terms of potential, not that high, because I think that the end engagement with Montana and Bismarck did cost me a lot. But overall, a great game, great experience. Um, I hope if you don't have Republique, maybe get it, take her for a spin, and if you're doing better than me, which hopefully you should, do drop me a note or two of advice. I would appreciate it. Good luck on the high seas. Maro out.